Hello there. Yes, I'm back again on the exercise bike. Yes, therapy. I'm going to see if I can pull you down a little bit more this way. That's better. Yes, I've put in the titles that in the comments. I'm on an exercise bike and not treading grapes. I've been told I look like I'm doing, and yes, I agree with that. I totally do. So I'm trying to do my own physio. I've actually put a t-shirt on top of my sports top, just so you can concentrate on what I'm saying. Let me see. Yes, I've got a very strange setup to do this because I can't read from this distance to the laptop. I have a magnifier. You're supposed to use it for your phones. As you can see, the phone goes at the back here, and it's a big magnifying screen, so you can, I guess, watch films or whatever on your phone. Well, I've actually got that propped up on the diagonal, so I can see from this height to the laptop. I've actually got my laptop on the seed box to raise that up. Then I've got my pencil caddy laying on its side with this, the magnifying screen perched diagonally on that, so I can see the comments. And as long as I catch them as they come on, I can read the bottom part of the screen. So yeah, and I was going to go on the exercise bike today, and definitely new plan, back to the old plan. I'm trying to have physio for my foot, doing it myself, so we'll see how long I last, because I want to go walking again tomorrow, as flat as possible, but I want to do walking. So I thought, yes, I'm definitely going to do my live on the bike. That gives me an hour of, okay, it's casual pedaling, but it's something rather than just sitting doing the live. And literally 10 minutes before my live, I suddenly thought, oh, I've got to set all this contraption up. It's crazy. But I did it. Just not quite comfy. Here we go. Yeah, and we're in summer now, so it's going to get quite hot doing this. So I've given myself 2 months, starting from today, to try and do exercise every day. And then it'll be July when it'll be way too hot to even attempt anything this time of day. But let's see where we go. I'm actually in quite a cool room in the house. I do have a window right there, and I've got a fan there. So we'll see how far. But I've got my workaways hopefully coming July, so that gives me a target to be as fit as I can. I'm having Sundays off, but the rest of the week I'm going to do something exercise. So tomorrow is walking, back to my walks. As I say, I've got to try and keep as flat as possible walking, which is quite impossible here because, as you know, we're a mountainous area. And my foot's okay. I'm walking around the garden and everything. But if I slightly go sideways on a bit of a rock or something, it starts really playing up again. But I want to get walking. I want to go out for my walks. That is my life. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow and see how that goes. I've picked a circular walk with no climbing involved. If you watch any of my walks, you'll see I do climb. And considering my balance is completely shot, I'm doing this weird thing now of falling over backwards. Now that's really bizarre. Falling over backwards, I sort of topple backwards. So I'm trying to sort of walk, like leaning forwards. Don't know what that's all about. But anyway, we're playing doctor and hospital ping pong, which basically means we're going doctors, hospital, doctors, hospital. That's not that they're doing anything wrong. I seem to have one thing after another at the moment, but that's part of my condition. My brain makes things up. They are real things. It's not imaginary, but my brain tells me certain things aren't functioning. It decides to stop things functioning. And the poor medical team, there's not a lot they can do, really. Yeah, I'm a sorry case, but I'm unique. So that's that. Let me have a sip of water. So I started reading my new book, The Book of Summers, by Emilia Hall. I've read, not much just come out, as you can't see. The bottom bit is how much I've read, so not a lot, but it sounds like it could be really good. A grown-up girl, young lady, woman, lives in London. Her dad lives in Devon. Their mother is estranged for some reason, and turns out, and the mother's in Hungary, and the daughter used to spend her summers in Hungary. And it turns out the mother's died, and her boyfriend sent this book to her of the mother's that was documenting all their summers in Hungary, just in photos. And the dad bought it to her, and she was so angry, and she's fallen out with him for kind of opening a wormhole by bringing it to him, to her. And yeah, so basically, as far as I got, she's taken the plunge though and opened the photo book, the scrapbook, and she started looking into it to bring back good memories. But you know, there's something lurking coming up. There's some reason she didn't want to remember something about it. So that's as far as I got with that. That is pretty interesting. It seems quite good. I was sort of straight into it, which is always a good sign when I read books. I was really pleased with that. Any catch-ups? Just basically, numbers are still going up. Thank you very much for that. They're going up by quite a few a day. It's on a roll since I was on 1.3. As everyone says, oh, it's not about the numbers, but then how come everyone's so thrilled when they hit certain targets? It's not a race, but obviously we all remember the day when we didn't have any viewers, and that first one was exciting, and I'm pretty sure we all kept looking right at the beginning. Oh, 2 viewers. Oh, 3 viewers. And other numbers just seemed so far away and impossible. First 100, and everyone's like, whoa, 100. Do you remember the days when we didn't have anyone? So, of course, everything's going to be a great milestone. And I'm very pleased to say it's not a case of people just subscribe to my channel. I like to think they're very wholesome people, and we really do chat. Anyone new to my channel will know, chat to me, I'll chat to you. So, yeah, I really do watch videos. This is why I might not get to you all, because I'm going to find a time, particularly if you do long videos, I can sit down and watch your video in full. So, an honest community. So that's why I get when people say, oh, it's not about the numbers, because some people just subscribe and say, oh, I've got another one. Or family and friends just subscribe, and that just to bring your numbers up, that kind of thing. But no, I'm grateful for that. As I say, a very genuine community on my channel, and it's not just the numbers. So thanks for that. And saying that, I'm going to continue today, as I can't do much as I'm sitting on the bike, playing my top 5 game with you. And this helps you learn a lot about me. I like watching people's lives if they're having a chat. You really do get to know the people. So I answer these questions on the cards, and then you get to know more about me. And what you see is what you get. So the first one says, name your top 5 sounds you hear in the street. Oh, that's a good one. Now, as you know, I live very remote in an abandoned village, so we don't have that. Let's start by saying 5 things that I do hear. The thing I hear most living here is silence. Does that count? goats and goat bells. I don't have goats, but they come all the perimeter of my house every day. If you watch my videos, you see we get goats down our driveway all the time and around all the perimeter of our fence. Goat bells, I love that. Even today, if I hear the goat bells, I go and have a look, see which ones are there, because they're all different types. Birds. Oh my goodness. I know people in England say, where have all our birds gone? I think they're here. So many, nesting in our trees. It helps we have the swimming pool, because in the evenings we have birds swooping continually into our pool in the evenings. And I was concerned that when we emptied the pool out, because we had issues with the lining and we needed it changed and other work needed doing, I thought we're going to lose those birds, but no, they're back. So birds. We do hear some trucks, and I'm talking about like not even big utes, like smaller trucks, and that's the farmers, because there's no more residents around us, and all you'll hear is the trucks going to the goat farms. They normally live in town and they just drive to the goat farms and the other farms around here just to work in the day and go home. So we do hear that. What else do we hear? Occasionally, and I have just filmed it recently, I haven't edited it yet, but sometimes if Mike helps out down at the stables, they give him things like, we've had manure from down there. He's borrowed the cement mixer from there, because we're doing all this slabbing from salvaged offcuts we found tipped out on the roadside, where somewhere done new kitchens and bathrooms, and all the offcuts have been dumped. So we spent a long time grabbing as much as we could get, and we brought them back here. And Mike's been using our old cement mixer to obviously do it quicker, and that has broken. It's absolutely gone. He thinks it could be mended, but the part of it that needs mending is a ridiculous price. We can't get it mended. So what Mike's done, he's borrowed the cement mixer from the stables. So of course he brought that back in the tractor. So often we will hear the tractor because Mike is driving the tractor backwards and forwards. So let's say that. Only because I'm stuck with things I can hear. Oh, I know what I'll say for number 5. As I said, there's barely anybody lives here. No one lives right by us anyway. And what you do hear, though, is people come to their farmhouses, which are like their weekend retreats, holiday retreats. And today is Labour Day in Cyprus. And of course, all these properties are filled with friends and family, because they all meet up at someone's countryside residence for the holidays. So I would say parties, but not like you city folk go, oh, they've got a party, they've got a party. You know what days it's going to be. Any Cypriot holiday. And they're not loud like music or anything, but you can hear like echoing, because we live in a mountainous area. You can hear the echoing of people talking, even though they're quite a long way away. So that's my 5 sounds that I hear. Okay, then your top 5 things to pack for a holiday. I haven't been on holiday for 17 years. Yes, 17 years. I don't now have a valid passport, and I couldn't afford to get another one anyway. We still have to get an English passport, and that's so much money. It's just not worth it. But let's think, 5 things to pack for a holiday. Obviously, it depends what sort. I'm only going to go to sunny places. Well, not now, but I would have only gone to sunny places. So sunglasses are a must. Let's see. What else? You always want a nice, some outfits for the evening to go out, fine dining. You obviously want bikinis, swimwear. Sunscreen, we better put that in there, or people be shouting. What else would be a priority? Shorts, obviously. Let's say shorts as well. So, yeah. I think I need a bit more than that. But they are your must-haves for sure. Let's say all your stuff went missing. Those probably are the things you'd want to make sure you still had. Let's say that. Okay, name your top 5. Hey, it's been talking with Boomer. You're not late. Anytime's fine. Nice to see you here. Lovely to see you. I'm on an exercise bike. If I look a bit odd to you, I'm on my exercise bike. Name your top 5 ways of travelling quickly. Oh, I would get this question, wouldn't I? Because I'm always going on about I want a travel machine. Not time travel necessarily, but an instant way of going from me here to another country, like instant, like Star Trek, like a kind of, what do they call that? Time warp? No, not time warp really, is it? But and I'm somewhere else. So what was the actual question? Ways of travelling quickly. Well, that's one. It's just not really invented yet. Travelling quickly, plane, time travel. Well, it's got to be, that's right, travelling pretty quickly. Trains, I miss trains. There are no trains in Cyprus. There used to be years and years and years ago. I must do a film about that and give you all the information. And there's still remnants of where they were. They were mostly for shipping like mining stuff and carobs. Gold, copper, from where they were mining down to the coast. That's what they were originally for. But then what they did, they obviously then decided to make it worth the while. They also had passenger trains, but they weren't like to link up the country. They were purely on these routes. So trains, you get like the fast trains, don't you? Furthest I've been on a train is from South London or Surrey to Scotland. No, did I go to Scotland on train? No, I think I went to Manchester was the furthest, which is like North London. North of North London. Let's see, 3, the train. What did I say? Train, plane, time travel, quickly, rocket. Rocket, might we would love to do, go in a rocket or go into space, something like that. One more, fast. Vroom. Well, I suppose a motorbike. A motorbike, if you're in London streets, and the streets are packed, motorbikes are pretty quick. Next one. 5 things you'd put in a hamburger. A burger. Cheese. It's got to have cheese. It's got to have onion. It's got to have a sauce. Now, that could be mayonnaise, could just be ketchup. I like a nice garlic sauce or spicy sauce, something like that. That's what we've said. Cheese. What did I say? Cheese. What did I say? Cheese. I said something after cheese. Cheese. Recall, stop burping. I'm just going to keep saying cheese. Cheese, I said burger, sauce, mushrooms. Oh, onion, I said onion, that was the other one. Yes, definitely. I do like a double burger. We've got a very cheap place, if you like, let's call it a street food truck, but it's been made as a permanent thing, even though it's still like the truck. It's got kind of like a permanent awning round it, so you're indoors in the awning bit and it's permanent. and then you still get the food from the truck which is attached. And that is actually not very far from here. Wow. And the burgers are massive and very cheap. And she puts like everything you can think of in. Mike has one with bacon. I don't do bacon. Bacon and then fried egg and everything you can think of. So it's like, Mum, I'm getting a bit puffy. But now I haven't exercised for, what, over a month because of my foot. When did I do my foot? It's over a month, I think. Name your top 5 foods to avoid when dieting. Now, I don't believe in dieting. I just believe in eating better and not so much rubbish. I wouldn't call that a diet as such. Foods to avoid. Chocolate, cakes, biscuits, puddings, sweets, all the lovely things. All the lovely things. I believe in give yourself everything, but have less. So portion it out. So you can still have a cake or a sweet or a treat, but have less of it, less often, balance it out with better foods and eat early. I'm trying now not to eat after 6, only because I've got my, well, we still don't know what it is. It's some blockage I've got sort of up here somewhere. I've got a blockage. So I've found that by not eating after 6, I'm not having tremendous pain later on in the evening. Never mind. I talk about foods now. Name your top 5 foods that you could barbecue. Top 5 foods you could barbecue. Burgers, that's a must. Sausages, that's a must. If you go somewhere and they haven't got burgers and sausages and it's some barbecue, something's wrong there. I quite like when they do like on a stick, and you have, some of you call it kebabs, but kebabs are actually meat. When you have just the vegetables on a stick, on the skewer, and you have like a little bit of pepper, a little bit of onion, like that. I like that. Out here, you've got to be a meat eater. Basically, that's like our traditional diet in Cyprus, and it's all sorts of souvla. So we say souvla, chicken. So they have them like turning on the spit all the time. And any public holiday here, the day before at work, you will see people outside the offices or wherever they work, all with these like rotisserie things going, all cooking meat on the spit and chicken turning. Very traditional here. Okay, next one. Name your top 5 names that you'd give a baby. Oh, this is different, isn't it? Although I like common names, I actually like names that are a bit different, but I'm not talking these ridiculous, silly names to be different. It's not something I've really thought about. What I will say is if me and Mike had a child, I would like him to name it, even though he's got children. I would like him to name it. I think that'd be really sweet. I think that gives a stronger connection. If I was a boy, my mum was going to call me either Gary or Martin. Interesting. My big sister was going to be called Paul. What's my little sister going to be called? I don't know. I don't know what she was going to be called. Can't remember. But yeah, I was going to be Gary or Martin. I know that. That's interesting to find out. If any of you have got your parents still alive, let me know what they were going to call you. Because some people wait till the baby's born and then see what they look like. I'm not keen on the way that people know now what the baby is, the sex beforehand. I know for some people it makes a big difference. For example, my sister, she's got 5 children, and when she was having the 5th one, she needed to know, because of how she was sorting the rooms out, and if it was going to be one sex, she would have to move just to rearrange sort of how it was. And they said yes, the child was going to be that sex, and it turned out to be the opposite sex. Yeah. So there's that. But names, I wouldn't like to say what names I would use, because I think in times that changes. I'm sure when we were all younger, like little kids, we used to say, oh, if I was a child, I'd call it this, that, and the other. But I would just say maybe something a bit different, but not weird, different. Maybe now, if I was to have a child now, I think I might actually call it a Cypriot name. There is a situation here where, if you watch my video, name days, I think it's in my playlist of customs and holidays. I think it's in that playlist, and it's about name days. And basically, everyone here is named after a saint. And you often then have the family name. They keep the same saint name, but not always. And if you don't have a saint name, you can't be christened in Cyprus. I believe it's the same in Greece. So you need a saint name. And then every saint day is your name day, which is like your birthday, but if it's not the day you're born, but you celebrate it like your birthday. And in Cyprus, your actual birthday is nothing. They don't really celebrate that here. It's your saint day becomes your celebration day. And that way, everybody knows what day that is. And you also know what village, because they're named after saints and whatever else. And basically, every village has its celebration day. So, and what you're expected to do is on your name day, you have cakes, like miniature cakes and things like that at your house. And anyone that visits you, they don't bring you a gift, you give them like a little cake or whatever, or fancy thing. And that's basically that. So then you would obviously go to them when it's their name day. So it's the person whose name day it is gives the cakes and things out. So we don't really do gifts like that. And you can understand also why Easter is a bigger celebration here than Christmas, because there's more days. It's like 3 weeks, and then we've got Holy Week, which is the massive one. So that one. So yeah, my answer is possibly a Cypriot name. I don't necessarily mean a saint name. Just a Cypriot word that means something nice, maybe. Okay. Name your top 5 favourite names you'd call a pet. Oh, you have to look at it, don't you? Now this sounds like the child thing again. You'd have to look at it and decide what it looks like. Yes, you can't just have a pet name and then, oh, there's one. That's its name. It's got to suit it. So I've got 4 cats. The first one is called Pebbles, and that's because we had friends that worked backing onto Dusudi Beach, and they kept saying there's this lovely cat there. It's obviously been dumped there because it's so placid and lovely, and they didn't think it would survive there just because it was obviously a house cat, and they knew we were sort of thinking about having one. So we went down, and that's why I called her Pebbles. She's a tortoiseshell colour, so she's browns and blacks, a mix of colours, really pretty. And because she came from Dusudi Beach, she was Pebbles. And because of all these colours in her fur, looks like different colour pebbles. Then we went to the cat sanctuary because we thought 2 would be nice. I always think animals need like a pair at least. And we went there, and they already have names at the cat sanctuary. They already name them so they can identify them. And they have a collar, and the disc is actually just a number. And then in their register, they've got the name and all about them. Obviously, the people work there know what they're all called. Hey, Della! I'm on my exercise bike again. So that in the cat sanctuary, they have the collars and a little disc with the number and then all the information about the cat. So we eventually chose this one we got. And we said, what's its name? And they said, Fossil. Now, bear in mind, we already had Pebbles. We thought that was quite funny. And people don't know the story think, oh, that's quite funny, name them like similar type things. No, Fossil was already named. And then we've got Mr. Colin Waffles. And that's because, short story, he kept coming up here. We didn't know where he was from. And we just called him Colin because he had a collar on, which we thought was odd for around here because no one really here. And Cypriots don't put collars on really. And so we called him the collar cat. We said Colleen at first because Mike was quite sure it was a girl, but it was a boy, so Colin. And then it turns out the owner was the owner of the stables. And he said, oh, his name's Waffles. But he picked him up and took him back to the stables. We kept coming back up here. We're quite a long way from the stables, a good walk. And he kept coming back. So he said, look, I'll give you food for him. You keep him there. So that's why he's Mr. Colin Waffles. So he's got both names, which is quite fun, really. And at first we called him Colin, obviously, at first. And he answered to it. And then when we found out his name was Waffles, we kept saying, Waffles, Waffles. And he'd turn his head, but then turn back and say, no, that's not me. No. So that's funny. So we just tagged it all. And that's why he's Mr. Colin Waffles. And then Kit arrived. And that's why Kit's only got the name Kit. Because I don't like to name them and they just pass him through. But this one stayed. And we kept saying, oh, there's the Kit, there's the Kit. So it's Kit. So, yeah, Della, have you got pets? If you've got pets, what are their names? I don't know if you've got pets. Why do I think you've got a cat? You mentioned before you've got a cat. I want to know if you've got pets. It's all getting quite hot here. It is summer now. This is what I say. It's going to be a bit difficult now. I haven't opened the window. Maybe I'll do that next time. See, it's quite warm. What time are we on? Oh, I've done half an hour. Not bad. Okay, so next one. Name your top 5 excuses for missing the dentist. Ooh. I probably passed out with fear. I hate dentists, I really do. I think everyone does. Tell me something like, oh, his cat. I thought you had a cat. Did you bark? Did you bark? Oh, dear. That's so funny. Is there an explanation? I expect you can't type much in. Juju, but okay. Oh dear. Yeah, excuses with dentist, probably, yeah. Fainted with fear of going. I'm a coward. It got better. Don't you find that? If you've got an appointment, say doctor or hospital or dentist, just before you're about to go, it feels better. Oh, you do have dogs. 6 dogs for security. Wow. Oh, I didn't know that for sure. I seem to recall a cat. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think as soon as your appointment's due, you're about to go. I was like that with Mike the other day when I was going to the hospital. I think it's all right now, is that? I would say I forgot an appointment or something like that. I think that's just rude. Oh, I've let someone go in front of me instead of me. I've let someone take my turn because they've arrived and they're in serious pain. They can have my slot. That's a good one. One more. I would never pull my tooth out myself, so I can't say I've done that. What else? I suppose you can't get off work. They won't let you leave work. I don't know. I'm not someone to break appointments. No. I like to think I'm quite reliable. If I say I'm doing something, I will. You know how I think most people get into a trap when someone says, oh, can you blah, 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 and spring it on you. You're like, oh, yes, yes. And then you go home and think about it. You think, oh, no. Or so my advice to you is, if anyone asks you something like, oh, can you come tomorrow and clean up my whole house? Just say, I'll let you know. Or I'll see what else I've got on, or something like that. So have that in your head. I'll let you know. Then you've got plenty of time to not go home and regret saying yes. Because I would never let someone down. But for that, I would never get myself into a situation. This one's similar. Name your top 5 reasons for being late. Top 5 reasons for being late. Broke my leg. As I say, I don't do that. I would turn up early to something. I would never like to be in that situation of being late. So it's got to be other causes. The car broke down. The flight was delayed. It's going to be other people's fault. An incident occurred. Some incident occurred. Or there was a family crisis. It's not going to be my fault. I'm going to be there. And that's not passing the buck. Name your top 5 reasons for parking illegally. Well, it'd be illegal if I park a vehicle because I don't have a licence. So one, just by parking, that's going to be illegal. Reasons. Oh, let's say you're dropping someone like emergency at the hospital. You're going just, aren't you? Parking illegally. I don't know if this is really parking. It's pulling over. But if an ambulance or fire thing wanted to get through or something, and let's say you couldn't then get out, I suppose you could be done for parking. Where to begin, Homestead? Nice to see you. Good morning. Finally caught you live. Hope you're having a great day. Hello to all in chat. Hello to you. Nice to see you. I'm riding an exercise bike. The reason I'm holding up 3 digits, I have to find 5 answers for reasons for parking illegally. Maybe someone's parked on my driveway and I'm going to block them in. So that's illegal, really. But if they're on my driveway, they're not getting out. See, Dawn can be quite mean. I won't tolerate wrong behaviour. One more reason for parking illegally. I'm not one of those people that, let's say, I've won the lottery, so I don't care about a fine. You won't get me being that person, but that would be some people's answers, I guess. I want to park illegally. I will say this thing where sometimes it happened a lot when I lived in England, that you could be parked and then they'd change the signs and put a sign up so you can't park there at certain hours, times, whatever, or indeed do yellow lines when you're parked. So that, how about emergency? Yes, I had that for number 1 or number 2. Number 2 I had that for, I said, if you're dropping someone at the hospital, like for emergency, yeah, definitely. Brilliant answer. We agree on that one. That's great. Yeah, some of these are easy, some of them a bit of thinking about. And as I say, this helps you get to know me a bit more now. Name your top 5 ways of relaxing. Oh, this is going to be easy. Number 1, as I say, go for my walks. I live in a very rural, scenic area. It's all right here around my house. Don't have to go a long way to be there. So walking, that is so relaxing. Hence why I'm trying to get a bit fitter today to do my first walk after my foot injury. So walking. I like doing my cross stitch. Hey, squirrels, how you doing? Nice to see you. Oh, squirrels, was it you? I was talking about the magnifier. Was it you? You'll be like, no, what are you on about? Yes, the book where you've got the tiny print. This is the magnifier I use. It's really for a phone. And I use that if I want to read. I've actually got it right now, balanced on my laptop. I've got a pen holder underneath it. I've got it like this, and I can read the chat right back from here. So there's that. What was I saying? Oh, things to relax. So going for walks, cross stitch. I do show my cross stitch progression on my lives. Haven't done any this week. What else to relax? Just to do nothing, as in just relax and, you know, just have time out, basically. Maybe watch a bit of rubbish film or just do nothing. Just gardening. Now, there's gardening and there's gardening. My chill out days is pottering around the garden rather than doing a job in the garden. Just potter, pick a few bits out, just walk around the garden, see what's blooming, what's ready to harvest. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I filmed a bit today showing my artichokes are so badly needing to be harvested. I was like, I don't like doing that job. So pottering around the garden and eating and drinking, as in going out to a restaurant. We do a day. What does Mike call it now? We've just started doing it now. We've got a little bit of money behind us. Date day. And it's going to be every month because he gets a little bit of money every month. And we're going out for the day. We've done it a couple of times. We go sometimes shopping and he lets me buy a few things, whatever I want. Just pottering around the shops. We go out to eat somewhere. It'll be lunchtime, we do, like eating, just that kind of thing. And I want to do some days where I go around and film some more places for you. So we've just done Colossi Castle. I posted that. So yeah, so eating and drinking, just relaxing, chilling out, just me and Mike really. We go with friends sometimes, but it's just nice when it's me and Mike. And that's what we do. A bit of water. My little legs are getting tired. Got 45 minutes to do, 15 minutes to do. I've done 45 minutes, so I'm only doing an hour. Okay, oh, you'll like this one. Name your top 5 most embarrassing moments. Oh my goodness. Most embarrassing moments. I talked about this one fairly recently, that when I was, I don't know, I'm going to guess 7, something like that. And we were on holiday, and at the holiday camp, you could race donkeys. And my nan was with me with my donkey, and you got a prize if you won. There was like, I don't know, 8 or so running at a time, and the children sitting on them. And my nan said, oh, that'd be good if you win. And I used to love donkeys. I do still love donkeys, but not to go on a donkey. And my nan said, oh, it'd be nice if you won. And the man holding the donkey heard, and he said, I can guarantee this one will win. And she said, oh, is it a fast one? He said, it will be. And then just before the race began, he gave it a polo mint. Now, a polo mint is like a a round mint. It's got a hole in the middle. I don't know if you all know polo mint. It's like a small round mint. It's got a hole in the middle, and it was like a strong mint. And just before the race started, he gave him a polo mint, and his ears went back and went, woo, and he ran. And I fell off right in the middle of the biggest pile of donkey poo, and I stunk. It was like a bit runny and nasty. So that, I wouldn't say I was embarrassed at that point though, because I was probably crying my eyes out, more like, what? So, but yeah, now it's like, okay. So we use that as one. Embarrassing moments. I don't know. See, some questions I have to really think hard on. That's embarrassing. I can't think of any. There must be plenty. I never used to like if you went in a room and like everyone turns around and looks at you, you know, that type of thing. I find that sort of thing embarrassing. So let's say that. Not that there was any one particular time, but I find that quite embarrassing. You get that in a lot of English, very tiny villages where the pub or the bar, it's all just local people and they're all chatting, particularly places like Wales. When I went to Wales, it was a bit like this. And then someone new comes in and all the chat stops and all their heads turn and look at the person coming in. So let's say that, that's two. Embarrassing moments. There must be plenty when I was little. I can't think of any adult incidents. No. Oh, I know one. I was at school, in infant school, which is like the first school, and there was a big hoo-ha, and my dad came in and he'd had a row with the headmistress about something that occurred that I didn't do. I was a quiet girl then, and he's like, it's obvious she didn't do it. And then the headmistress was saying, well, someone saw that I did do it. And it was, I had a hoop apparently and hit a boy over the head with it. In the later years, I actually went out with him, but anyway. So my dad wasn't getting satisfaction there. So he came into the classroom and shouted, right, come out. I assumed he wanted me to come out and speak about it to her. I don't know. And she's going, no, sit down. And my dad was like, no, come out. And I was like standing up, sitting down, like, do you obey the headmistress, who was quite scary, or do you obey your dad? All right, you obey your dad, but I was in school. And yeah, let's say that was pretty embarrassing. I remember that one. Two more embarrassing things. Oh, not really embarrassing. Again, school, junior school, which is like middle school. We had a teacher there. I think I talked about this a while ago, like a support teacher. We had one teacher that you just have the same teacher all the time for every class, every lesson. And she kept getting pregnant. Now, when you're a child, she just seemed to keep getting pregnant. She only had, I think, 2 children, but she seemed to be away with pregnancy more than not. Now, I'm assuming in hindsight, she probably had morning sickness off and maybe she had issues. I don't know, but it seemed like she was never there. And we went through all these supply teachers and they never really taught us anything because they were just like there to fill in. So I started to get a bit annoyed then. I was at school to do something. We were just doing nothing. So I got in with a bad crowd and was having fun. And they decided one day one of them was quite strict. And they're like, what's she being strict for? She's not our teacher. And they got me to, I can't remember if I did it or they did it, but I was part of it. And it was decided the chalk from the blackboard would cover all the teacher's chair. And she came in and she sat down and we're waiting for it. And she got up and she wrote on the blackboard, and she had black trousers on, which was quite helpful with the white chalk. Yes, I'm on an exercise machine. Well, not machine, it's just pedaling. No machine, just pedaling. Yeah, and she stood up and wrote. She had black trousers on and the white chalk. And obviously a lot of other children didn't know what had happened. They're all laughing. And she can see what they're looking at, so she looks round. Anyway, she gave us lines. It's the only time in my life I had lines. You had to sit and write like 100 lines of "I mustn't do that again" or some such nonsense. And I was more concerned that my parents would know, and I don't think they ever did know about that. Anyway, she told us, she made me feel guilty because she said, well, after school finishes, I'm going to a wedding. And now look how I'm going to look for the wedding. And as my friend said later, why are you worried about that? Not very likely. She's going to a wedding after school finishes on I think it was a Wednesday. All right, it might be a registry office, but it was a funny time of day, wasn't it? But yeah, she tried the guilt trip on me. What's that? Is that 4? I think of one more. Embarrassing moments. No, even dancing. I can't think of a time that I was on stage. I never really forgot my dances, or if I did, I improvised. Maybe when I was about 3 or something, I've talked in my last live about going to holiday camps, and there was like talent competitions. My mum probably made me go and do it, sort of at that time, go and do what you do at dance or whatever. And I was quite shy and I didn't want to do it. So let's say that maybe that it was a bit embarrassing standing there in front of all these people. Okay, we'll do one more and then we'll call it a day. Name your top 5 happy sounds. I'm going to use one I've used so far for another answer, the goat bells. When I hear the goat bells, I know I live in Cyprus. So the goat bells, happy sounds. Popping of a cork and Mike pouring the drink. That's pretty cool. I know it's what we call chill o'clock. That's quite a happy sound. Happy sound. I like listening to rivers and streams. I like the sea sounds as well, but rivers and streams, like a babbling brook, that's quite nice. That's 3. Happy sounds. Happy sounds. Music. I have to have music in my life. I can't tell you what type of music because it depends on my mood. I like Cuban music, Caribbean music, party music, disco music. I've got quite a wide range. Someone asked me before if I had to say one group, who would it be? And I said group ELO, Electric Light Orchestra, and soloist Elton John. I did get down to those. So music. More happy sounds that make you happy. When Mike says you can go to Jumbo and buy what you want at Jumbo. Jumbo is a big shop here. I can only say it's like a big Target for you guys, but bigger than that and more things. So maybe like your home and garden type shops as well combined. It does literally everything. Seasonal stuff, stationery, some clothes, not massive on the clothes, but clothes, garden stuff, pet stuff, cushions and things like that. There's cosmetic area, bags. I do like a bag. Some shoes, but it's not a shoe shop, so there'll be a few, say, flip-flops, trainers, those kind of things, slippers. But yeah, so that's got to be a happy sound as well. So how did I do? There was a few questions that I struggled with a little bit, wasn't there? I was like, But they're normally things that don't don't compute with me, like embarrassment and things like that, particularly as I'm older. No. No. Yeah, so that's really my questions. I hope you learned a bit more about me today, good or bad. I just enjoy playing games anyway, so I like it. Sometimes you guys join in. Sometimes I get answers in the comments. People watch back later. Sometimes you just sit back and watch me embarrass myself in that respect. So, yeah. Oh, that's not an embarrassment. A lot of people said they were frightened to do YouTube to start with, but obviously being a performer, I guess, dancing. No, it's just like talking to people. So I never really had an issue with that. I got better with doing it. But that was really more equipment based, as in I didn't know how loud I had to speak when the camera was a long way away and things like that. But yeah, so just having fun. I do a right old mixture of my lives. Sometimes I share stuff. I do gardening stuff, give you hints and tips and hacks. Sometimes I just update, show the stuff I'm doing. Haven't done any more of my cross stitch this week, so I can't show you that because I doubt I'll do any tomorrow. As I say, I want to go for a walk tomorrow, so I haven't been able to do that for the last month or so. So I will be doing that. So I've done my hour of cycling. I'm feeling it now because, as I say, I haven't done it for so long. I think I might do it again on Wednesday on the exercise bike. And as I've said before, if you've got an exercise bike, why don't you join me for the hour? If you haven't got one, just on the spot, knees up now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just see how well you can do to keep up. Because rather than just sitting, I try and do that when I watch some YouTubes, if it's like a long one. But if it's live or I'm a moderator or something like that, I can't do it because I need to be typing. But yeah, try and get moving, keep positive. I've got to find the mouse now. There it is. So until next time, guys. As always, Muraki, thanks for being here.